everybody, Brandy from Pafford Homestead here, and I'm in my kitchen. Today is Saturday, the day before Easter, and I am going to make a homemade top to bottom coconut cake, and I am going to take you along with me in my kitchen. So for this recipe, we are going to need 1.5 cups, which is 3 sticks of butter divided, 2 cups plus 3/4 cup for filling of sugar, 4 large room temperature eggs, 3 cups of sifted, that's a mouthful, self-rising flour, 1 cup of unsweetened coconut milk, 2 tablespoons plus 1.5 tablespoons for frosting of vanilla extract, 1 cup of sour cream. Yes, I said sour cream. Stick with me. You're going to enjoy it. 1/4 cup of whole milk, 1/2 cup plus more of the coconut sweetened flakes, 2 8-ounce packages of cream cheese. And yes, again, I said cream cheese. Stick with me. It's going to be well worth it. 2 cups of sifted or whisked to remove the lumps of confectioner's powdered sugar, sorry. And 1/2 cup of sweetened cream of coconut. Cream of coconut is very hard to find here. I had to go to 4 different stores to find 1 can of creamed coconut. But you can't have this cake without it. So I made this cake a couple years, probably more than that, about 3 or 4 years ago. And Charlie told me it was the best cake for coconut cake he has ever had. And to me, that was the most amazing compliment in my life, because that put me in the same, if not a little higher, bracket than what his mom was. And that says a lot to me. And so I just decided that I would make this cake for Easter so I could take him back to that day, the first time he ever tried it. So come along with me in the Pafford Homestead kitchen as I make a homemade top to bottom, step-by-step coconut cake. See you in a minute. Okay, so as you can see, I have some butter in my mixing bowl, and this is 1 cup of butter, room temperature, and I took and I just cut it up, and we're going to mix this on medium with 2 cups of sugar, which I'm going to gradually incorporate in here. We're going to mix this for 7 minutes till light and fluffy. So, mixer down. Now you want to take and scrape the sides every so often so that it can get good and mixed. So since we have that all beat up and looks really light and fluffy, this is actually what it's going to look like. Okay, it's going to be really light and fluffy. It's gonna kind of look a little curdled, but it's not. And the only reason why it looks curdled is because of the sugar and the butter blended together. So the next step in this process is we're going to add the eggs. But I'm going to go ahead and scrape the sides of the bowl again to get it all pretty much in the middle. And when we add the eggs, we're only going to add one at a time. And we're going to make sure when we add them that each egg individually gets mixed in really well. So you're going to have 4 large eggs, room temperature. It's very important that all of this stuff besides the milk is room temperature. So let me grab the eggs real quick and we'll start adding them in. Now with the eggs, you also want to make sure that when you crack them, that there is no blood in the yolk. Okay? So I'm going to turn my mixer on again, medium speed, and I'm going to add and incorporate 1 egg at a time. And I'm not going to add the next egg until this egg is completely incorporated. So as you can see with the way that it looks, this egg is completely incorporated into the butter sugar mix. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it on and do 1 egg at a time until I reach all 4. Okay, so next it is 3 cups of sifted flour with 1 cup of coconut milk. So I'm going to go ahead and sift this flour. For those of you that is new to cooking and doesn't know what a sifter is, this is a sifter. And what this does is it makes You do like this, and it makes your flour light and fluffy, and it takes all the lumps and everything out. So it is 3 cups of flour. Here's 1 cup. And this is self-rising flour that I'm using. Here's 2 cups. And number 3. And there's your sifted flour. Now what you're going to want to do with your flour and coconut milk is you're going to want to alternate, starting with the dry ingredients, then you go with the wet, then dry, wet, and then the last is dry. You always want to start with dry, end in dry. So now we're going to add in 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And we're going to let that mix. Now we're going to take and add in some coconut flakes. So now that I have all of the cake batter mixed, we can start placing it in the pans. And I have 2 round 9-inch pans that they're going to go in. It already smells so good. And I haven't even put it in the oven yet, and it smells good. Okay. So it's Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna place it in my preheated 350 degree oven. And I'm gonna cook it for about 25 minutes and then I'm gonna check it. But while it's in the oven, I'm not gonna open the door at all for 25 minutes. So whatever I need to do to it now is what needs to be done, and then it's finished until after baking. So let's put it in the oven. Back. Stay. Cake 1. And cake number 2. So it's gonna cook for 25 minutes like I said. And Autumn wants to come say hello.
Hello.
So we'll see y'all in 25 minutes to do the toothpick test. Okay, so my timer has gone off. It's been 25 minutes, so we're gonna take them out and do the toothpick test. You can already tell that they're not quite done because they're still a little bit jiggly. So, but I'm gonna see how much jiggly. The browning of them is turning out beautifully. So yeah, as you can see, there's still wetness on the toothpick. So we're gonna check this one. And the same with this one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put them back in the oven for about 7 more minutes. So I'm gonna set my timer for 7 more minutes. And we'll see you in a few. Okay, so it has been 7 more minutes. So now we're gonna check on the cake once again. No, sit down, honey. Let's test them again. I just pulled them out the oven. And oh my gosh, do they smell so good. Look at those cakes. Down in there. And look at that. 7 minutes does wonders. Sit, Autumn. Check that one, and look, it's clean. So now, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to let them cool for 10 minutes, and then I'm gonna take and put them on a wire rack and let them cool completely. So when they're cooled completely, we're gonna come back and go through all of the icing and the filler. So stay tuned. So while my cake is cooling, I'm gonna go ahead and make the filler for my cake. And for those of you that don't know what a filler is, it's the part that goes in between the layers of the cake. And how we're gonna make this is we're gonna use 3/4 cups of sugar, 1/4 cup of whole milk. Make sure you use whole milk. Don't use skim milk, 1%, 2%, fat-free, da-da-da-da. Use whole milk for this because it makes it a lot better. You're also going to use 8 ounces of sour cream, which is 1 cup. So this is where the sour cream comes in, y'all. So let's go ahead and get busy making it. Let me get my 3/4 cup of sugar really quick. Okay, I got 3/4 cup of sugar. I have my sour cream. Oh, that just spit all over me when I opened that cup. All over my glasses. Okay, so let me grab the milk real quick. Like I said, you want to use whole milk, so please make sure you use whole milk. Where is my... Okay. Okay. We're going to do 1/4 cup of milk, which I know you're not supposed to use dry ingredients measuring, but I can't find my liquid one at this point. So I'm actually going to put just a little bit more. So that's 1/4 cup of whole milk, your 8 ounces of sour cream, put this down here so y'all can see what I'm doing, and your 3/4 cup of sugar. And what you're going to do is you're just going to blend this all together. And like I said, this is the filler. So it needs to be a little liquidy, because we're going to take and we're going to poke holes in the cake. And what that is going to do, it's going to let all of this liquid go down in the cake as well. And you can actually make the filler, you can make it up to a couple days ahead and just stick it in the refrigerator. There we go. And the more it sets, the little thicker it will get, but you don't want it too thick, because you want it to seep down into your cake to make your cake moist and get the flavors all in it. Now, I am also gonna take some coconut. This is my thing. I'm gonna take coconut and put in here, because with the coconut cake, every bite you get should taste like coconut. So I'm gonna take some coconut and put in here. And I'm doing the sweetened coconut just like I did with the batter. And I just put whatever I want to put in. I don't put too much, but I don't put not enough to where you can't tell that it's there. So let's stir this coconut in. So okay, all of that is stirred together really well, blended, as you might say, some people might say. So we're gonna set this to the side. until it's time to put it on the cake itself. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to stick it in the refrigerator and let it cool for a while, which it's already cold, but we're just going to let it cool. And look. Mmm. So good. You know what? Might even be better. Let's take a little bit of vanilla and put in there as well. Just maybe a capful. Okay? Oh yeah, that's even better. So I'm gonna take and put the lid on this and put it in the refrigerator and let it set until my cakes are completely cool. Now, I'm gonna tell you, some people don't do this, but you have to have not just cool to the touch, it needs to be cooled all the way through. So, my cakes have been sitting here for about 10 minutes. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take them out of the pan and place them on the wire. Look at that, comes out perfect. Perfect. So I'm gonna let them sit on a wire. And this is gonna take at least a couple hours, y'all, so that it can cool. But what I need to do now, so that it can cool even better, is to poke holes down in it. Poking holes in it is for the filler, so that the filler can get down in the cake. Sorry, y'all, my nose is kind of stopping up my ears. So I have these skewers that I use for shish kebabs and stuff like that. So I'm gonna take and poke holes. Let's see. You're just gonna poke holes everywhere, okay? Just poke your hose. It does not matter if it's neat or what, because you want the hose so that all of that filler that I made will seep down into the cake and soak up into the cake and make the cake even more moist than what it is, which the feel of it, it's already springy and moist. You can tell by the feel. So I'm going to take and poke holes in this one as well, but I'm not going to poke as many holes in this one, because this one's not going to get as much as the filler on top, because this is the top piece, okay? So this one is going to have the majority of the icing on top of it, so it's already going to have the moisture of it. So I'm going to let these cakes cool for a couple hours and I will be back. So it's time for the frosting. So what I'm going to start with is a half cup of real unsalted butter, not that vegetable oil stuff that you see in the store. You want to get the real butter. And I'm doing 2 8-ounce boxes of cream cheese to room temperature. So I'm going to take and I'm going to start mixing this so it can get all mixed together and fluffy. I'm going to start it on medium. Okay, now that we have that pretty well blended together and mixed up and it's pretty fluffy, I'm going to take and add 1 cup at a time the powdered sugar, confectionate powdered sugar. And it is 2 cups that we're going to be adding. What did I do with my... I don't know what I did. Oh, there it is. So we're going to add 2 cups, 1 cup at a time, and getting it blended to where it's pretty much all wet and all the lumps are out. Every time I see powdered sugar like this, it reminds me of a movie that I once seen, Flowers in the Attic. The powdered sugar on the donuts and everything. Y'all remember that movie? Or am I just saying how old I am? Okay, so we're going to add slowly on medium. All right, so all of that is mixed and ready to go. There is nothing better than homemade frosting. That stuff you buy from the store, it ain't got nothing on homemade. So I'm gonna take another little bite. And with that being said, we gotta get just a teaspoon of vanilla to go in here, mix that all up, and then the frosting will be ready to go. So let me get the vanilla. I'm sorry, it's 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. But you know what? Vanilla is just good in anything, isn't it? Well, not anything, but you know what I mean? Okay. So I got the vanilla in there. I'm going to run this on low just to get it mixed, and then we'll be ready to go. All right. So that's it for the frosting. So I'm going to get all this over to the other area, and we're going to start putting this cake together. So stay with me. Okay, remember me earlier telling y'all that we was going to do a filler, and we made it with the, hang on, I'm trying to wipe up the mess I just made. With the sour cream and everything. Well, it's time to use it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this on the cake so y'all can see. Give me just a moment. Okay, so I've got my filler here, and I got my cake, and now I got my spatula. Look at that, ain't that cute? So I'm going to take some of this filler, stir it back around, make sure it's all mixed up really good. And remember, I poked holes in this so that this filler can go all the way down in it.
Mommy.
Do that. You won't eat cake, honey. You don't like cake.
What cake?
Yeah, you don't like cake.
What cake?
Okay, so there's this half. Get it all spread on real good. And now I'm going to take the top piece and put on. Get out of there, Autumn. Okay. So I'm going to take a little bit of this and put on the top. Just a little. I don't want it to overlap too much, because as you know, I'm going to put the frosting on as well.
Okay.
Now, with this filler, I'm going to take this cake and I am actually going to put it in the refrigerator. Yes, I said in the refrigerator. And it's going to stay in the refrigerator overnight. You don't have to. That's just the way that I'm doing it. Yeah. And then we'll put the frosting on. And then the coconut flakes all around it. Now the coconut flakes, you can get really creative with the coconut flakes, and you can take them and put food coloring on them and make like blue and green and any other color you can think of. And then you can sprinkle all of them around. You know, because it is Easter. And me, I'm gonna take cherries. Some people do jelly beans, but I'm gonna do cherries. Go. Okay, got that pretty much covered. So I'm gonna stick this in the refrigerator and it's gonna go overnight, and then tomorrow I'm gonna take it out and frost it and then put the coconut flakes all over it, and it will be ready to go. And I'm telling you, this is going to be a very moist coconut flavor, anything ooey gooey, just goodness. So I'll see you in the morning. Bye. Good morning. Happy Easter, everybody. So I am in the kitchen and I am finishing up what I started yesterday with the coconut cake. So I'm gonna put the finishing touches on the frosting by adding coconut cream. And you're only gonna add half a cup of the coconut cream. So it comes in an 8-ounce can. You want to stir it up. Let's see, so half a cup. Okay, so I got that. And here is half a cup. I'm going to put it down in my frosting. And then I'm going to let it whisk together. So that was easy. So now I'm gonna take and start frosting in the cake. Okay, so I left my cake after I put my filler all over it in the refrigerator overnight. I can see the beautiful cake, the gloss on it. So now I'm gonna take my frosting and I'm gonna start frosting the cake. And I am not a cake frostener. So we're gonna see how this turns out.
Come play with your block.
Get some on the sides, just like so. Okay. So that's the frosting on the cake. So now we gotta flock it with all of the coconut. So let me grab my coconut. Yeah, thought that was in there. Okay, so there's that part. So now let's put the cherries in. One more. And there's the top. So here's the taste test on the coconut cake.
With the coconut. It's good.
It's good.
With the cherry.